Hey, welcome to No Code MBA, and welcome to this free preview of our Build a SaaS like Linktree course. In this video, you're going to get access to our lesson on how to build functionality to invite team members to an organization. This is really useful functionality for any type of SaaS app where you want to have team functionality where you want to invite others to your team, give them admin access to do things in the dashboard part of your SaaS app, and you want to be able to manage those users. So you want to be able to invite them, make them an admin, or also remove them from your team. If you want to learn more about how to build a SaaS like Linktree, check out the link in the description to go to the full course and to learn how to build out all of the functionality that goes into an app like this, including subscription, billing, paid features, and much more. So the next thing that I want to build is a team page, which is going to allow us to invite other team members to our app and to our organization. And then those team members are going to be able to sign up and join the organization. And then as an admin, you're going to have the ability to add and remove users from the organization. So let's go into Bubble. Let's go to our data types. And I'm going to add a new data type, which is going to be called invited user. And I'm going to go ahead and click create. And then under invited user, we're going to create a new field. One is going to be accepted, so it's going to be whether or not they accept. Then we're going to have another one be the organization, and we're just going to make this field type be the organization. And then we're going to have email, and it's going to be text, so it's going to be email. So we're going to have an organization, email, and whether or not they accepted. Now we're going to go back to our designer. We're going to go to the organization. And under container, we're going to open up the team section. We have text team. And we're going to add in an input there. Underneath, we're going to fix the width, unfix the width. Uncheck make fixed width. Height, let's make 40. Add margin top of 20. And then I want to add text above it, which is going to say invite new team member. And under layout, I'm going to uncheck and uncheck min width, uncheck min height. I'm actually going to add margin top of 20 to that, and then make margin top 5 of that input. I'm going to rename that input to invited team member input. And this is going to allow us to more easily identify this input when we're using it in workflows. And then I'm just going to add a button right underneath and also fix the layout here. Uncheck min width, fit width to content, margin top of 5. Let's name this invite user. Okay, perfect. And now I'm going to add a few more details here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a repeating group. Right underneath that invite user, we're going to fix this so it's going to be a column layout, uncheck fixed width, no min height, no min width, uncheck fit height to content. Appearance, we're going to make type of content be invited users. And we're going to do a search for user for invited user, where organization equals current page organization. Uncheck number of rows, uncheck min height, and then we're going to take a group, drag it in, and make sure that group is in that repeating group invited. We're going to make that a column. Uncheck fixed width, min height of 40. Appearance is going to be a type of content is invited user. Data source is current cells invited user. And then let's just drag a text block into that group, and you can do that in that way. And we also want to go back to our repeating group invited under layout. We want to go ahead and click fit height to content in that repeating group invited user. I think I said to uncheck that before, but we'll check it for now. And then under text, we're going to go to layout, uncheck fixed width, something you're probably familiar with by now. And then the appearance is going to be current cells, parent groups invited user, email. And then I'll put margin top. Actually, just leave that as it is. This group invited user, uncheck min height. Let's just give it a padding of 10 all around. There we go. Maybe give it that styled group here. Okay. All right, so then I'm going to take some text, put it above that repeating group. Same thing, fix the layout, uncheck fixed width, min width 0, min height 0, fit width to content. Appearance, let's make H6. And then this is going to be invited team members. And I'll make margin top of 20. And then what I'm going to do is copy that and drag it underneath the repeating group. And I'm going to say this is active team members. I'm going to take that repeating group, copy it in that team section, paste it, make sure that active team members is up above that repeating group in the team section. And then this repeating group invited, I'm going to change this to, if I go down, I'm going to change this to users. And I'm going to search for user where. And actually, I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to just search for a user here and close it, and then say filtered. And we're going to do an advanced list filter search where current page organizations admin contains this user. Okay, cool. So here we're going to show the users where it's active admins, and then we have invited. All right, awesome. Now what we're going to do is under invite user, we're going to start a workflow there. And when we click that, we're going to create a new thing. We're going to create an invited user where the accepted equals no. The email equals, actually accepted, let's just leave that blank for now. Email is going to be invited team members input value. And then organization is going to be current page organization. And then we want to send an email to the result of step one's email. The name can just be, I'm just going to say no code MBA, but it can be whatever your organization is. The subject is going to say you're invited to and I'm going to insert dynamic data, current page organization's name. And the body is just going to say you're invited. You can make this a lot nicer if you wanted. I'm just going to say you're invited. Click this link to, or create an account on, and then you would put the URL of the page that you want. So in our case, I'm going to go to our home page here, which is where you're able to sign up and copy the URL and put it in. And this is an example of something you would need to change when your site goes live and update that to your live URL. So I'm going to say create an account here with the email, result of step one's email. So this is very important that you use the email here to create an account. Thanks. So there we go. And then I'm going to say to join, create an account. Okay, so we're going to create a new invited user, send them an email to create an account. I'm going to do a couple more things here. In this repeating group invited user. I'm going to make it a row. I'm going to make the alignment space between here. We're going to make the email layout fit with the content. And then I'm going to add in another text here. And it's going to say remove invite. And the layout is going to be fixed width, uncheck min width, min height of 0, fit with the content. I'm also going to go into that group invited and actually change that to this one at the end. This is what we want, which is going to put them one on all the way on each side on the left and right. And when I click remove invite, I'm going to start a workflow and I'm going to just delete a thing, which is going to be parent group's invited user. So let's say you accidentally made a mistake and you want to remove invite, you can do it right there. All right, so let's go back to our, actually one more thing we need to do here is under the account page. We need to add a group here for that new user to accept our invite. So we're going to have a group and drag that up above the invite, and let's fix it to be a column real quick. And uncheck fixed width, uncheck min height. Appearance, let's say style group. This is going to be the accept invite group. We're going to add text inside and fix the layout again and make it an H5. And it's going to say you're invited to, and then I'm going to say insert dynamic data, do a search for invited user where email equals current user. Current user's email. And it's going to be the first item you're invited to, the organization's name. So basically I'm searching, finding that invited user and finding the organization name there. Then what I'm going to do is add in a button, which is going to say accept invite. The layout, uncheck that, uncheck min width, uncheck min height, top of 10. Fit with the content. And then what I'm going to do is on this accept invite group, I'm only going to display it when we do a search for invited user where email equals current user's email. When the first item there, so when that invited user's email is not empty, so when that user is not empty, so we find a user, and that same thing, so do a search for invited user, and it's going to be where email equals, actually we don't have to do that, we can just say first items is not empty, but in this search we're going to say where the email is the current user's email and accepted is not yes. So as long as accepted is not yes, it's going to show up here if there's a match for the email. So when that's the case, we're going to say it's visible, and otherwise we're going to go to layout and uncheck this element is visible on page load and check collapse on hidden. So it's just collapsed and not shown if there's no invite. Then the last step here is to accept the invite. So we're going to start a workflow. We're going to make changes to a thing. We're going to do a search for invited users. The same thing that we did before where email equals current user's email. It's going to be the first item. So we're going to search for invited user where an email equals the current user's email. And we're going to change the accepted to yes. And then we're going to navigate. We're actually going to do one more thing. We're going to make changes to a thing, which is we're going to change result of step 1, the organization there, because we have the organization from the invited user. So we're going to change the organization, and the admin, we're going to add the current user. So we're going to add the current user as an admin, and then we're going to navigate to the organization, and we're going to send to the result of step 2 to that organization. So it's 3 steps here. We are making the invited user accepted, yes. We are making changes to the organization, adding that user as an admin, and then we are going to go to that organization's page. So we have fully built out this feature, so now we just have to test it. I'm just going to add a little padding to that accept invite group and go down, or margin I mean, on the bottom. So add 40 margin, so it's kind of just at the top there. And now let's go to our app and refresh. And let's go home. Let's go to our organization. And here we go. Go back. Let's go to our team. And under active team members, it looks like something is going wrong there because I should be showing up. So I think what I need to do is actually, in the container, let's go to the organization page. In the container, team, here we are under the active team members organization. So this group, I forgot to update that to a user. And now it's going to show we need to update this to the current sales user and then change this to parent group's user's email. So now if I refresh and go to team, my email now is showing up under active users. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to invite a new team member. I'm going to do one more thing. I just remembered when we invite the user, we're going to create a new invited user, send user, and then we're going to reset relevant inputs to reset that input there. So let's refresh. Let's go to the team, and I'm going to invite a new user. And this is just going to be invited user at nocode.mba. So like I said before, you can add this plus and put anything you want to create more accounts with the same email address, because it's technically a different email address here, as long as your email is managed by Gmail. So let's go ahead, click invite user. So here we go, my invited team member, here we go. I can remove the invite if I want, but what I'm going to do now is check my email. And here we go. It says I'm invited. And I did get the email. And what I'm going to do is copy that link address. And I'm going to open a new private window. And I'm going to sign up using that email. So I'm just going to copy that email so I make sure I get it right. And then I'm going to sign up. And here we go. So I am now in my account, but it doesn't look like that accept invite is working. So let me see what might be happening real quick. All right, so it looks like what's happening is we have the email and invited users, and there's a capitalization. But under users, the email is not capitalized. So the way that we're going to solve this is if we go into our designer, and we go into our account page, what we need to do is make a little change to our logic here. So in our accept invite group, I want to go to the condition here, and I'm going to search for invited users where email equals current user's email. So what I need to do is actually go back, and in our organization tab, under the workflow, when I invite a user and I create an invited user, what I need to do is say it's the invited team member's inputs value, and it's lowercase. So that way, when we save the email in our database, it's going to be saved as a lowercase value and always match up. So if I go back to the data tab and go to the invited users, I can just manually change it here because this is what would have happened if I saved it. So I'm going to save it. And now if I go back to the organization and refresh, or sorry, go to the new tab and refresh, we can see that it is now working. So here it says you're invited to No Code MBA, accept the invite. So I'm going to go ahead and click accept invite. It's going to take me to that organization page. And now if I go to the team, I can see that there is an active team members, but an invited team member. So what we need to do is go into the organization and go into container, the team section. There's a little bit of logic that needs to be fixed here. So here in that invited team members repeating group, we're going to search for invited users where the organization equals current page organization and accepted does not equal yes. So we need that to filter those out. And then in repeating group users, we're going to search for users where the current page users admin contains this user. But now that we've removed that user from the invited team members when they've accepted, we need to update our privacy rule to show the other members of our team. And the way to do that is go into data, go into privacy, under user, under everyone else, we're just going to say view all fields, or we can even just say view email here under everyone else. And then we click find this in searches. And then if we go back to organization and refresh, and we go to team, we're going to see both users here now in active team members. Now, one thing to note about privacy is that you may not want to expose the email address of all users with this default permission. So there are more advanced ways in Bubble to set up privacy so that this email is not exposed to everyone, meaning in theory, with some development knowledge, someone could in theory search for these emails. Having said that, right now, for our purposes, for now, you can just go ahead and check this. And then later on, when you are actually going to publish your app, you want to make sure you look over all your privacy rules, see where anything might be being affected by these privacy rules or where you are exposing anything, and then update your app accordingly. I am going to quickly show you how you could use privacy rules to show the emails of users on each other's team without exposing all of the emails of everyone else in the app. So to do this, you're going to want to go into your data, and under the app data tab, data types tab under user, we're going to create a new field which is going to be called team members. And the field type is a user and it is a list, and we're going to create it. And now what we want to do is under workflow, under the accept invite button is clicked under the account. So to do that, we're going to add a step here after step 2. We're going to make changes to a list of things. That list of things is going to be a list of users. So the list to change is going to be a list of we're going to say doing a search for user, and then we're going to filter where advanced, so it's an advanced list filter. This user, we're going to say result of step 2's organization admin contains this user. So where the organization contains this user, this is the list that we're going to change. And now what we're going to do is change another field, which is going to be team members. We're going to add the current user. So basically, what you're going to do is make a change to a list of users. We're going to find every user that's on the team, and then we're going to add the current user. So then we're going to go back to the data and the privacy, and we're going to uncheck email, so you're not going to be able to view it. Then what we're going to do is define a new rule, and the rule name is going to be team members, and we're going to say when current users team members contains this user. And when that's the case, you're going to view all fields and view in searches. So you're going to be able to view all fields about that user. Okay. In the future, if in that organization page, you on your team, you actually want to have like a remove user here under active, then you would want to do a similar type of logic workflow to remove that user from the list of team members. So here, what I'm going to do is just invite another team member to test this out, because we created that data type field of user of team members after we already invited that first user. So let's do it one more time and see how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and invite another test account and invite the user. And I'm going to go to my email and log in. Okay, so I just logged in under my new account. I'm going to go ahead and click accept invite. And there we go. So now that I accepted the invite, here we can see both emails are now showing up. So I can see the team member logic that I did with the privacy rules is showing up, and this other email, which is not isn't in the team member data type that we created yet, isn't showing up. So we can see there's 3, but it's not showing up. So here, the privacy rules seem to be working correctly here. So now if you take a step back, we have built a team invite page, which allows us to invite new team members. We can see the new team members and revoke that those invites if needed. And then we can also see the active team members. And we also built in a way for members who were invited to accept that invite.
I hope you enjoyed this free preview of our Build a SaaS like Linktree course from No Code MBA. If you have any questions at all, be sure to leave a comment below and check out the link in the description to get the full course and also to check out all of the other courses on No Code MBA, including how to build a marketplace like Airbnb, how to build a social network like Reddit, and many more courses covering Bubble and other no code tools. Thanks so much for watching the tutorial, and be sure to subscribe to get all of the new videos on our No Code MBA YouTube channel. See you on the next video.